Right there, obviously, it hurt, and it hurt our guys. And because I think the reason it hurt more than anything, because our guys did a concerted effort to do the things that the coaching staff wanted. We wanted to focus in on our competitive spirit and our defensive intensity, and I thought our guys went out there and did that. So truth be told, the Arkansas State game, it shouldn't have hurt our guys because we didn't get the effort we needed to do in order to win that basketball game. But against USC Upstate, our guys made a concerted effort to do the things the coaching staff wanted to do, and you end up with a loss there. What has to happen from this point forward, though, is our guys can't get disillusioned because they did the things the coaching staff wanted them to do, and the end result was not a win. So we got to continue to do those things that we did today in order to give ourselves a chance to win, because if we play the way we played against Arkansas State defensively, it doesn't matter who we play, we're not going to win that game when you let another team shoot 53% from the field.
You made some changes in the starting lineup. Was that just due to matchups, or were you just trying something different?
No, we had 2 days of practice, and we focused in on the guys we thought gave us the best chance to win, focusing in on the energy and enthusiasm and effort. And that those guys that displayed those traits in those 2 days of practice, and the guys we thought did that against Arkansas State, those are the guys that we played. And we didn't care if it was 2 so-called centers or 3 power forwards or whatever. We was going to play the guys that's going to give us the best chance to do those things with the energy, enthusiasm, and effort.
Offense right now just seems like such a challenge, possession to possession. I mean, what can change over the next few weeks to kind of, get a little more production going?
I think that's college basketball, though, Dave. When you go look at scores in college basketball, when you got 2 competitive teams, I think it's going to be in the 50s. Teams that sometimes you see some lopsided scores, or teams that don't focus in on the defensive end, you see higher scoring games. But for the most part, you're going to see college basketball games that are highly competitive in the 50s and 60s. So, that's not something that we can change overnight, David.
Right.
So we can't focus in on that. We focus in on the things that we can change overnight, and that's our effort. So we want to score more. There's no question about that. But that team right there was holding teams to 36% from the field, and I think they held people to 27% from the three-point line. So they were going to come in and play the defensive effort anyway. I thought we did a bad job in the first half of not being able to push the basketball against their zone. Mm-hmm. I thought we were much more free-flowing in the second half, and that gave us a chance to go. And our team is so much better when we're pushing the ball and trying to get out in transition. And I probably did a poor job of trying to figure out what to do against the zone and made our guys stagnant rather than just letting them play.
Do you think Craig Ford's back is still bothering him, or is he just rusty? He just doesn't. His explosiveness, it just doesn't seem like the same guy right now.
I don't think his back is bothering him. I think what's wrong with him at this point in time is that he's not in shape basketball-wise. And what I mean by that is, I'm not talking about going out and running lengths and things like that, but he's missed out on so many opportunities to play basketball. I liken Chicken to like a running back. He needs a lot of rest before he gets going at times. So we've got to continue to get him some carries. And once we get him some carries, he'll continue to come back. But he's not the same player at this point in time. And I don't think it's because the back is physically hurting him. I think it's because he's been out so long because of the back. So he missed a lot of things that we did leading up to the season, and he needed those reps.
Is Johnson one of those guys you can count on to give that effort?
Oh, no question about it. And this is no knock on Raquez, but Raquez is not a good basketball player unless he gives that effort. He's not a skilled guy, so we need Raquez always going out there and demonstrating the things that he's good at. So when Raquez gives that effort and that energy, he's a really good basketball player. But it's not like you can run things for Raquez. You don't run him to come off a screen and make a shot or get the ball in the post. You do some things that allow him to like sweep and drive by people or get the ball in an isolated post situation and sweep and drive by people. So he's going to score his points on energy and effort plays.
What's the vibe in the locker room right now with 5 in a row and back-to-back against teams? You look at the schedule and think those would be W's.
I didn't look at those games. I mean, USC Upstate is a good team. They won at Georgia Tech. What are they, 9-4 now? So that whole deal about who's mid-major, who's high-major, and things like that, that doesn't mean anything at all. So it's like when you go to the NCAA tournament, why is everybody always surprised when the 12 beats a 5 seed? It happens every year. So college basketball has changed with these so-called mid-majors. There's a line that's being blurred between mid-major and high-major. So we didn't schedule this and say, that's a win, that's a win, that's a win. We play this team, that's a loss. We just don't do that. So I think this one hurt because the guys did what we asked them to do. The Arkansas State game, it shouldn't hurt because we didn't put forth the effort.
Fred said he thought the guys came out with a lot of energy. You say the guys did what you has to do. What needs to happen? I guess what's the most pressing factor to translate that into W's?
Yeah, to me, that they don't get disillusioned about what happened here today. If they get disillusioned about what happened here today because they gave the effort the coaching staff wanted and the end result was not a win, they can't say, well, we did what coach wanted us to do and we still lost, so we're not going to do that anymore. That's what we got to make sure we fight against.
Any other questions?